Hey, it's Scott once again. And today I want to talk to you about a topic that when I got up this morning, this was not part of the plan of what I was going to talk to you about. Something happened to me at work today that it just made me go, here's a topic right here that I want to discuss. I work at a little health club in our town. I work there a couple days a week for a few hours a day, and it's a job I've really enjoyed over the last few years. But like anybody else, I have elements that I really love, and there's moments where I'm not all that excited about being there. And today was one of those because I made a mistake. And when I made the mistake, my boss happened to be there at the time, and he just laid into me. He ripped me a good one today, and actually a couple times. And it's something that has happened a couple of times, a few times in the past, and it's never easy to deal with that. I don't care how old you are, I don't care who you are. Never easy to deal with somebody getting on you when you've made a mistake. And so as he was ripping into me and letting me have it, there were moments I'm thinking, I really don't need this. I don't need to keep doing this. I don't need this job, blah, blah, blah. And part of me thinking I should just tell him, you know what, stick it. I'm done. And then I started thinking afterward, relax. It's just he's upset. I get it. I understood. But there was a part of me thinking, do you really need to do it this way? But okay, that's what he did. So be it. And when it was over and he went on and left and I thought more about it, I thought, wait a minute, Scott, here you're the guy who tells kids all the time that the things that they're going to go through in sports are great lessons for them later in life, like when they're at a job. And so this was the first message that came to my mind, that here I'm in this situation and my first thought is, I think I'll quit. Is that what I'm trying to teach kids? Of course not. And so I got to thinking, one of those great life lessons we tell kids is you're going to have a boss that might be difficult. My boss is fine. I like my boss fine. He just has a tendency at times when I screw up, and it's not often, but when I do, he lets me have it. But we tell kids, you're going to have people, bosses, other people, coworkers, whatever, you're going to struggle with. Well, when you're dealing with coaches and teachers who get on you and push you, and sometimes, it can be quote unquote mean to you. It's not necessarily that they're mean, but they might yell at you, they might get on you. That's kind of a preparation for other people in your life that you're going to have to deal with. How are you going to handle that? Are you going to just quit? That's what I wanted to do today in an instant. And I realized, what am I thinking? But it was a great lesson for me, because what are we teaching our kids, about how to persevere and how to deal with those type of difficult situations? We're teaching them great lessons about that. Then we also need to make sure that we're living those great lessons as well. The second thing that came to my mind, though, is that how we are going to communicate to our kids every time they make a mistake? And like I said earlier, I thought, is this really the best way you could have done this? I mean, he could have had his delivery be totally different. I still would have gotten the same message. I know we all have to work within our own personalities, but sometimes I think it's really important that we think about not only our personality, but the personality of the people we're dealing with. And of course, he knows that I can handle that, so he's fine with doing it that way. But what about your kids? Not all your kids handle that kind of response, that kind of method as well as other kids. I've had numerous kids that I've coached through the years. They wanted to be ripped on. They wanted that. That was what motivated them. And other kids, they'd go right into a shell, right into the tank. And so you got to know your kids and know who can handle and who can't. But more than that, think about who you are and your own method. Do you really need to do that? And I get it. I will yell. I told my kids last week, guys, you probably have noticed, I coach middle school basketball. You probably noticed I yell a bit. Okay? But understand when I'm yelling, what am I yelling? I'm yelling mainly instruction and a lot of positive encouragement. But yeah, at times I will get on you when you aren't handling yourself right. Mistakes made at full effort and full attention, though, we got to dignify those. We don't want to be ripping into kids for those. Dignify them and tell them, hey, that's a great try, and try and help them through. Mistakes made with less than full effort and attention, where they're just being lazy, they weren't focused, they didn't do whatever, yeah, then we need to get on them in whatever way that is. But let's really look to figure out, how much do we have to kind of get on and rip them, if you will, and how much can we actually do in a much more positive way that will still get across the message that they need without putting them into that kind of get on the defensive, kind of feeling. Think about this. How often, whenever you have been, affirmed and complimented, how'd that make you feel? Probably made you feel good. Whenever you've been critiqued, criticized, attacked, if you will, how'd that make you feel? Probably not as good. Well, we want our kids to be feeling as positive as we can, as much of the time as we can. So consider that the next time that you're ready to kind of jump a kid about something that he or she has done. And let's make sure that we're doing all that we can to balance and find the right balance in terms of, those methods that we're talking about. All right, so that's the message for today that I was not planning on doing, and hopefully you like that idea. Do me a favor, scroll down below and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and also consider leaving a comment. I don't get as many comments on the YouTube videos as I do on my written posts, so I'd love to hear some comments. And then finally, subscribe to the channel, and then you can get these delivered to you every single week. And we will talk to you again next week.